Yo, how's everyone doing? Hello, hello. Just banging this in here. Madison Ryann. What? Cool. Hello, hello. What's the last thing I ate? Um, Chicken? Hello, everybody. Hello, everybody. Here we go. Let's invite Madison in. How's everyone doing? Everyone's coming in thick and fast. Hope everyone's cool. Hope this is cool. Here she is.
Hey,
How you doing? You alright?
I'm good. How you doing?
Doing good, doing good, doing good. Just
Good.
someone just asked me what was the last thing I ate, so I was trying to stall as I actually thought that through. I said it's probably chicken, but how you doing? How you doing? What's the time there?
I'm good. It's two here.
and,
2:02.
and you're chilling in a parking lot, or
Yes. So what happened? Just went to Waffle House. That's behind me.
cool? Yeah,
Yes, I saw them. Whoever asked what you ate, I was like, "Gosh, that Waffle House."
wicked. Well, listen, we might as well just jump straight into this. You good? You ready to go?
Sure. Yeah. Go ahead.
All right, my sister, Madison Ryan Ward. Some quick fire questions, and then we're going to jump straight into some open and honest conversation. Here we go. Chick-fil-A or KFC?
Oh. Uh.
Wait, I thought I knew you. Wait, why are you thinking about this?
Oh.
Wait.
Chick-fil-A.
Oh, okay. Whit- Whitney or Mariah?
Whitney.
Cool. Michael Jackson or Prince?
Prince. Michael Jackson. I don't know.
Okay. Kobe or LeBron?
Kobe.
Okay. Home cooking or takeout?
Home cooking.
Okay. Tomato or tomato?
Tomato.
You survived. Well done. I actually thought you were going to get stuck at maybe the Michael Jackson or Prince thing, but
Yeah.
it worked. So listen, right? I am, for those who don't know, Madison, tell us about yourself. Tell us who you are, what you do, just for people who might not know. I'm pretty sure everyone on here knows about you, but just refresh our memories. Is that all right?
Yeah, sure. So, just like where I'm from, what I
Yeah.
do?
Where you from? What you do? Who are you?
Okay. I am from Lawton, Oklahoma, and that's southwest Oklahoma. I went to school in a town called Cache, which is 10 miles of Lawton,
In
Oklahoma.
Money Cash.
Money Cache, Cache.
Okay.
Yeah, Native American name, but
Okay.
Cache,
Okay.
Oklahoma, Comanche County. Yeah, and I I'm a recording artist and I design. I love to design too. And um, yeah, that's what I'm up to lately.
Cool.
Well,
So
I'm a
where
sister daughter.
you're, you're okay, fair play. How many siblings?
I have an older brother, older sister, and a little stepbrother.
Okay. Oh, nice,
Hmm.
nice, nice, nice. Okay,
Uh,
so where did the whole this music journey for you start? Where did it kick in? Where did this journey start?
Yeah, so professionally, I'm trying to think of just how I can sum it up to like fast forward what
Yeah.
the past years have been like. But so yeah, so I was in college. I was playing volleyball in college, and um,
Were you any
at the
good?
time, what's that?
Were you any good?
I was all right. At
Yeah.
time, at the time of music, of there being attention on singing,
Yeah.
on potentially doing that professionally,
Yeah.
I my heart was set on going overseas to go and play professional volleyball. And um, what happened? It's kind of crazy, kind of what happened. And um, yeah, just sort of out of left field how it all kicked off because it wasn't like from young I was just dreaming of like, oh man, I want to be a big singer and that's what I want to do. Like I got to have pretty much like a like level kind of upbringing as far as activities and things I was involved in. It wasn't hyper focused on doing that as a career.
Yeah.
And so in a lot of ways I'm really grateful for that because whenever this started happening, and I started to explore it, it just felt really I felt strange, but it was natural kind of what was taking place. So um and by natural I mean like not contrived, I think is what I'm meaning to say. but but where was I? So in college, one day after training with the with our freshman girls, um, someone came in and said, hey, don't you sing? Are you the athlete that sings? And I was like, yeah, I like to sing. And at that point, I wasn't like really broadcasting it a lot or sharing a lot online or anything. And they're like, sing something. And someone whipped out their phone and recorded like 10 seconds of me just singing something in the cafeteria. And then the next day, they had come back and they were like, you need to get a Twitter. This went viral. It's on World Star. And at the time, I'm pretty sure I was like, I think I was like, what's World Star? At that time. And I remember I was like, nah, I don't really want a Twitter. And they're like, do another one, do another one. And I had done another one. And then they had come back to those same people. And they were like, that one went through. You need to start doing more. And my brother at that time, he encouraged me to start putting YouTube covers up, which I've taken down since then. Because after I started, well, it's funny because after I started to record and explore professionally, like how it goes and how I wanted to sound, learning even about
Right.
my
Right.
ability and what I could do and all of that, I was like, oh, that's corny. Let's just take those down, which is kind of funny looking back. It
Sure.
would have been better to have them. They may be out there somewhere, but
Yeah.
anyway, I started putting up little covers every once in a while, and um, the the school actually involved and wanted to do a special, volleyball player by day, singer by night,
Of course.
and
Of
this,
course.
yeah, and then people from the music industry started actually to like my student email and to my coaches, and so it it kind of was an uncomfortable and a strange situation because having been a captain on the team, having been like, this is what I do, I'm here doing this, and having, A&R people coming to away games and wanting to meet in the lobby and
A bit creepy,
uh,
though. Sounds a bit
yeah,
creepy. Oh,
yeah, encouragement like, hey, you're wasting your time here, you need to go and do this.
yeah. Yeah.
I was really cherishing, I really wanted to be where I was. And um, so yeah, that was kind of, I can just kind of sum that up to that was I ended up finishing school. I played that last year.
What did you study?
Professional writing and business entrepreneurship.
Sick. So
Yeah.
that makes sense in the music industry, no?
Well, it's funny. I had changed my major to like several times, and ended up I took enough courses that was what they put together. I was like, so much.
Great.
Yeah,
Cool.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So,
Vibes.
um, yeah, and then what happened from there? I finished school. I actually had an injury my very last year, so that kind of closed the door on going to play. Like I thought, I still was like, I'll pursue music after,
Yeah.
but I
Yeah.
still wanted to go and play professional somewhere in Europe. I was like, that would be great. You know, the injury happened, and then it became a reality. Like, if I were to pursue this, what would it be? And so I moved to Nashville, first year out, just in my mind, songwriting.
Sure.
It's not as
Did,
far as
did,
LA,
did you
New York.
have time, or was that like you?
Say again?
Did you have a team at the time, or was that just you moving just
No,
where you need to
it
be?
was moving. Yeah, I didn't know there was no team, nothing involved. And I moved to Nashville, and and then what happened? First night I got to Nashville, a country artist had reached out named Zach Brown Band, and they had asked if I would come by. They were trying to see if they could find a way to get me to Nashville, and it was the same day, same night that I Nashville that message came through.
Sure.
And I had known about Zach Brown, and I reached out and said, you know, I just moved here tonight, and they were like, well, come by the studio. We have something we'd like to show you. They went by. He played down a song, the duet for his album. I was like, sure, okay. And they said, would you like to do it? I said, sure. And recorded that down, I think that next week. And then, you know, at this point, I didn't have professional recordings of my own done.
Right.
I begun like writing on
Yeah.
my own and forming how do I want to sound, what do I want to say, all of that. And um, yeah, so from there, I went out on the road with them a little bit, opened for them. That was my first performing really like that.
At this point, do you think at any or around this time, did you have any idea in your mind of what you wanted as an artist? Do you even see yourself as an artist or a creative or?
I did, but I didn't have, and that's what was crazy was early on, those were the questions that were coming up really, really heavy. Like, who do you want to be? How do you want to
You
sound?
were asking yourself or people asking you?
People were asking me once in the industry, you know, like you're not going to get to be kind of whatever sound. You need to pick a lane because you can't seem confused. I was being told that quite a bit. Like, you
Wow.
need to stick with it because that's gonna be the best thing for you is find your genre, number one. And then at that point, so early on, I was like, I don't think I want to do that.
Good.
I don't think I want to do that because I like all these different sounds. I'm influenced by all these different things. And, you know, that would be
Nothing,
like,
nothing that rhetoric, that vibe, that still people still do that in the industry. There's still that sense of pressure and tension.
yeah,
You know?
I, I think it could have to do with, at least here in the US, like how the radio is set up. It's different from where you
Right.
are,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
correct?
Sure.
Have one, the BBC. It's kind of like anything goes through that. Yeah.
Yeah, we've got a few others. All right, give us a bit here in the UK.
I'm sorry.
All right, calm down a little bit. No,
Yeah,
I totally get you, mean. I get you, mean.
yeah. I don't know. I mean, it may be because of that, but anyway, I'll try and hustle through this.
You can,
I'm like, and then I went back to the hotel.
this is what we're here for. We want the real.
Yeah. So what happened? I so did the thing with Zach Brown. Through that, management companies in LA were reaching out and kind of were doing the courting process, and I was taking trips out to LA and riding with people
Right.
who these setting up for me, not signing anything, saying, you know, I don't want to sign anything. That was one thing that I had been cautioned on. Don't sign anything.
Yeah.
And I got an attorney right out of the gate for
Fish.
safety. That was good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank. Yeah, I through that got that, and then um, met a management company through that too, and
Yeah.
then it was them that with the two demos that I had throughout that first year and living in Nashville, two things I had written, and I was like, yeah, I stand behind these. I feel these are good. Um, I met Rick Rubin and um, was able. We had a meeting and played those songs for him, and and he said I understand it and I would love to be a part, kind of in any way. Like we
You
will.
and you said, I don't know, Rick. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about it. Rick, let me come back to you.
Well, it's funny. At that time, there I had been meeting with different labels,
Okay, okay,
and so that was that was just one of the conversations at the time. And so I was weighing out, like, what would that mean if I'm in his world compared to these people over here?
right, right,
This in this way, and I've connected with so and so over there, and you know, so through the encouragement with the people around me,
right,
the
right, right.
decision I signed to Rick, and was distributed through Republic. It was directly to Rick's label, and
Sick,
then out through Republic, so all under Universal.
sick.
And, then I moved to LA, and I was given the opportunity and the freedom to find out kind of my path.
Right,
And
right.
working with several people, I worked with several people, whether it be friends of management or management people I came in contact, just figuring out kind of where I wanted to go. And through that, I collected a lot of music, a lot of different things from all these different worlds. And um, within that 2.5 year period of being with the label, I only signed off on saying, I feel good with putting this EP out. And so that's what happened. There's an EP that I released, or that we released when I
Yeah,
was, and then I think um, uh, because of how scattered it seemed, and because of how much I kind of felt that I hadn't really landed and had been just sort of guided away and not having like full detachment from it,
mm,
uh, it finally came to a point where I just was like, I really, I really don't want to be in this. I really don't want to be in this deal. No one had done anything ugly,
sure,
so to
sure.
speak, in a degree like that. Like some horror stories that I've heard. But for me personally, I wasn't living in the way. It was just like,
Yeah,
I need to get out of this. So I had a conversation and asked if I could, and collected about 40 songs or so, and said, I'll give these to you if that means I'll be let out. I was at that point. I just was like, I just really need to start fresh. This isn't right how this has gone. And I want to thank you, everyone, for the opportunity, but I'd like to be out if that's okay. And thankfully, from that conversation, my deal was terminated.
wow.
And I drove back to Oklahoma from Los Angeles.
Okay, so okay, so you, this is a massive transition into music, and a
Yeah.
massive transition out. What would you say if there was one thing that you learned in that period, in that whirlwind of activity? Um, what would be the one lesson you feel you learned?
Um,
Or in fact, let me give me one thing you learned, and also one thing you regret.
oh, um, thing I learned would be, can I have two? Could I say two?
And then go.
Two would be, um, like, it's okay to say no to different things. Like,
Big shot.
be empowered to say no
Right,
on, don't feel bad for that.
right.
That was something I learned.
Yeah,
I had to get a grip on
yeah.
pretty, pretty early on. And then, um, I feel I'm like, I've got like three.
Go
Yeah.
ahead.
Guard your heart. That would be a really big one. Guard your heart in anything that you're doing, especially with music. It's such a complicated thing. Um, you got to be really vigilant with that.
Yeah,
I think to come out like unscathed in some sort of way, you got to really, like,
sure,
yeah, that's a big one.
sure.
And that takes shape in different ways. But that's a big one.
Totally agree. And what about wait, that was you just gave me two, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Did you have one more?
Like,
Asking, I'm not, there's no pressure. I'm not asking. Okay, if you haven't got one more, give us one, a regret during that time. Because to be, if I'm really honest, so many, so like my own journey, there's so many musicians globally who they've been in the game for years. Uh,
mhm.
they've been doing the open mic nights, they've been doing the YouTube covers, they've been doing release after release, and what you experienced, like when you weren't even looking for it, is rare. Uh,
Totally.
and a blessing. Like that's, you know what I mean. And you don't, like, to me, just not getting to know you, I feel like of all the people that happen to you, like you totally deserve it. You know,
Thank
you're,
you.
you're you're not, you know what I mean? Like you don't come across as someone who's an idiot. Like you're not, you know what I mean? You're not, if there's anyone watching who's like that, I'm sorry. I'm not sorry. You know, but you know what I mean? Like you radiate humility, which is such a rarity sometimes, especially in this industry. I feel like in the midst of that, with this random opportunity and random, yeah, just blessing, what is it? Was there ever a moment where you said, "Man, I wish I didn't do that," or "I wish I hadn't done that"?
Thank you for what you just said. I just want to say that.
Yeah, you can pay me later. It's okay.
Yeah, over. One thing I wish I didn't do. I think, yeah, well, it's kind of like a kind of all encompassing thing. And it's not like one encounter, but I think one thing from now to then that I see and that I recognize is that I wish I wouldn't have been so trusting with certain people.
Okay.
That was I think that was yeah, I think that's the one thing. It's not really like um I mean, it's good to be optimistic about people, but I think in this profession, in this deal, it's really, or this whole world, how it works and how it goes. Like, um, you shouldn't just give that sort of trust whenever it's such a vulnerable, such a like sensitive place in you, and place that it's coming from is creating music and sharing it with people. And
Right.
you know, you need to be really particular about like who gets to be that close to speak into your life and all of that. And I think I was I think I was a little bit too trusting with it. I learned through, and it's all good. So it's weird. I don't necessarily say it's a regret. I think it's
Sure.
just
Sure.
I've grown because of those things, and
Sure.
I check things, I feel things a little bit
Yeah.
quick because I got to kind of like peek behind the curtain in a way.
And so, I mean, you've unpacked so much already, and you've been completely transparent. Now you are where you are, obviously not in the LA fast lane, and so deep into that world. It seems like you've got space to think.
Yeah.
What where is that? What is that? What does that look like for you? What are you looking for now? Now you know what you don't want, or how you don't want it to go. What are you looking for now?
I think just peace with what decisions are made and real friendships, a family and friendships surrounding things. And um yeah. I think that's really that's what I'm looking for is, and you know, the freedom to kind of on different timelines get things out into the world. Like now being independent, I'm really looking forward to getting things out because it's not like you have to jump through all the loopholes and you're kind of like tied to how the machine works and how they go.
Yeah,
Speaking about labels and such,
yeah, yeah,
or you know, even management or just people who can be attached to what you're doing as a creative,
yeah,
as an artist. Um, it's really cool to feel like, oh, I can kind of just move and shake how I feel,
yeah,
like
yeah,
put that there with them because I like them, or put that
yeah,
out over there. No, like uh, slowing down that process, you know. And then you also, and then in that same, by the same token, you can take as much time as you need on some things. Nothing's rushed. No one's like, you
100.
know,
Yeah,
like hurry up or else you're gonna miss the boat. Or you're like, you got to
yeah.
get in their faces, let them know who you are. And that whole thing is like, take your time if you need to. It's okay.
Can I ask? And again, it's well, the last conversation I had with last Sunday was with Sam Henshaw, and we ended up talking about stuff. Um,
I'm sorry about these ambulances.
oh,
Like,
You okay?
Come on. Waffle House. Somewhere.
Um, last
Sorry.
time, no, you're good. You're good. The conversation I had last with Sam was ended up being quite self-examining, um, and I suppose yes, random. I just want to ask what how how did you see yourself? Obviously, when the whole music thing started, you didn't even see much of what you didn't think much of the gifting that you had. Um, and then when people started knocking on your door and stalking you in sports hall lobby ways or whatever and trying to sign you, etc., I'm sure you start to one starts to open their eyes and go, oh, maybe I've got something. Maybe this is a little bit nuts. How do you see yourself now and your creativity? How do you see yourself in terms of your worth? And yeah, how do you see yourself now compared to that whole experience?
Yeah, yeah, I think because of the response and things that have happened, it's it's yeah, it's educated me on putting value on what I have, um, and just I don't know. Can you repeat the question one more time?
Yeah, so how do you during the process you see you often we can see ourselves in different ways. So when everyone's knocking on our door telling you your next best thing is to slice bread, you can,
Sure.
you know what I mean? It can be overwhelming, and then you can start to be like, oh, maybe I am good, or maybe I'm not good, or it's almost sometimes imposter syndrome can kick in. What's
Yeah,
that?
yeah, yeah.
How do you see yourself now? How do you see yourself then? And yeah, I'm if you had to self-examine yourself, what would you see in yourself?
Mm. Um,
Does that make sense?
yeah, that makes sense. What would I see in myself now
Yeah, compared to them.
to then?
Mm. It's like you cut out there. Compared to them,
Compared to then, yeah.
right?
Hopefully it would just be a lot more great out, because of the things that I've learned. Because of that whole experience, I've had like a crash course on all these different aspects of how it can go and what it can do to people, and seeing people at the top and then seeing people just beginning, and everything in between. Um, I think, yeah, I see just more, um, I see more peace. That's definitely one thing. That's definitely more apparent. There's not as much pressure now.
Sure,
And realizing like, okay, this is what I can do. Uh, this is what I love to do. I want to protect what I do.
sure.
Um, but there being like a freedom to it is much better now than it was then. I didn't feel very free trying like having the pressure to figure out what I was going to do with it. Now to be in a place where I'm like not as connected, not
Yeah,
connected with that sort of energy and people, and I mean the whole system. It's cool because um yeah, things can just naturally happen, and then
yeah.
I've learned all these things that have gone with it to now.
I
Hopefully that answered. That was
yeah,
kind of scattered.
I totally understand. Totally hear what you're saying. I am. It's good. It's as I said. It's just such a rare story, you know. Um,
Yeah.
and not everyone makes it out of those types of experiences alive. Some people they crash, and then they just up middle finger to the music industry and anything to do with that. Um,
Yeah.
so it's good to hear what you're pursuing now in terms of peace. And yeah, it seems just like you're completely comfortable in your own skin. Um, which people who've been in industry for years, they don't creatives in general. Some of the best creatives I know are still not comfortable in their own skin, uh, and it's hard for them to block out the noise. So it's so refreshing to hear just your pursuit of peace. Um, I I can't have this conversation without acknowledging that the the political weight in America right now, um, and it affects everyone. Um, in fact, everything from 2020 all the way through to what happened recently in the Capitol and just the new president, it affects everyone in small or big ways. Um, how do you feel? How without, you don't have to divulge what your opinion is of recent politics or whatnot, but how do you feel that affects you and in terms of being a creative in that country, making music? How do you feel it affects you and possible other artist friends in what you do in terms of expressing creativity and and being songwriters, etc.?
Yeah, I think it's definitely overwhelming time as a whole, and I think what's really such a beautiful thing being in the position that we're in as creatives is like recognizing the power that music has to provoke anything, and um, to to be reflecting the times, however that how like myself for example, I to realize with the things that have been released, and having response from that from people who have reached out that might have gone through things that they feel similar, or they connected with it and they were encouraged, whatever might have been that they heard that I've done or shared through my lens of how I've seen life. The fact that music um, can be a healing agent, that it is a healing agent, that it can bring an incredible amount of comfort, um, joy.
Yeah,
It can joy. It can bring change.
yeah,
Like all these elements. It can really, really stir up hope in someone and change people's minds. They hear something and their mind is changed through how I saw something and then articulated it. They grabbed that and they took that for them and said, "Me too," or that matters to me like that too. I just think it's really quite magical to realize like that sort of position that we get to do that's such a gift. It's like a gift that keeps giving. And I think considering the world and what else going on, it's really highlighted for me just the condition of humanity.
right.
How as a music maker, as a singer, as someone who gets to like go and make a little mark there, and as a believer, like what an honor, what a privilege to get to do that.
Right, right.
And so I'm really hopeful. I'm looking forward to what's to come and things that I'll get to share that hopefully will be
Yeah.
tapping into those things that I really do love and helping people in some way. So hopefully that answers it. It's kind of like a lot
No,
of that.
you're good. You're good. It's I think there's one thing to observe these things on the internet and social media, observe, or watch the news. But it's another thing to be on the ground, um, to hear sirens or to be in conversations with people. And this is, you know, someone's aunt or uncle might have been up on Capitol the other day when that was all kicking off. Um,
Yeah.
so it's always interesting to hear someone's perception, someone's perspective on stuff like that, and just how it affects them. And you totally answered the question. I feel like I am, and I probably speak for many others. There's a great sense of anticipation for what you bring next, musically. Um, I think when you came off social media, and then you're back, um, I feel like there is a sense of people loving that liberty you had to do that and wanting to hear what's next. And so my question is, what is next?
Oh, wow.
Come on!
Yeah. I'm like, oh, gotta go.
Oh,
I Yeah, I have. So I've got in the really near future. I've got one single coming out in
boy.
February. Yeah, in February, and then I can't really paint a very clear picture of how these things are going to be rolled out, but I have some stuff coming really soon, a lot sooner than later.
Okay. Um,
Be sprinkled here. You'll hear me when you hear me.
okay. Um, so good, so good. Madison. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you for
Thank you.
having me.
Yeah, 100%. Thank you for being open and honest. Thank you for, yeah, Len. I think there's many people, you can piece a story together online, but it's great to hear it direct from you, just your journey and what it means to you, what it's done for you, and where you're at now. I would like to do one last thing, and if people are still, yeah, well, people have kind of still stuck around. Um, I'm sorry I haven't mentioned to you about this before, but I'm going to ask for your opinion on one more thing, and then ask you to respond about it. Here we go.
Yeah.
Angie Stone or Jill Scott?
Jill Scott.
Oof. Okay. Now I need like 2 lines of your favorite Jill Scott song.
I don't think I have a favorite.
Don't
I'm
do this.
sorry.
Don't do this. Madison, don't do this. Are you serious? You don't have a favorite?
Yeah. No, I'm sorry. I'm sorry to disappoint.
I thought we'd be friends. Are you being serious right
I am. I'm
now? Or
sorry.
are you sure, or you just don't know the lyrics to certain Jill Scott songs?
I I'm sure. I don't have one. I don't have a if I had a favorite, I would have it memorized to sing it back to you, and I don't. So
Madison, nah. Don't ever talk to me again. I'm joking. Oh, good. You got out that one nicely. It's okay. It's okay. Don't worry. I'll get you next time. Don't worry.
all right.
Madison, thank you so much. Um,
Thank
totally will be looking out. If you enjoyed this chat, peeps, give her a follow. And listen, February, roll on February and bring on that new music.
Yeah, yeah.
Homie, good to chat. We'll catch up.
Good to, okay.
Take care.
You too. Bye bye.
That was Madison Ryan Ward. I feel like a radio presenter. What the heck? That was my sister from another mister. If you enjoyed that, I'll be saving this to my to my feed. Really hope the questions brought about insightful answers for you guys. From her, she's a legend. If you don't follow her, and look out for new music. I am going to watch some Netflix and chill out, and nothing but love. Thanks for spending your Sunday evening with us. Um, and yeah, I'll announce my next guest for next week. Slyly, I wanted to hear her sing. She knows I wanted to hear her sing, and she backed out of that. So don't worry next time I get her. But yeah, next week I've got another guest. I'll announce it next week, next weekend. Take care. Have a wicked evening. Bye bye.